Hello everyone, my name is Chicha Gemma and I work for Wales English Online. I just wanted to do a 10 top tips on how you can pass your Wales English interview. There are many resources out there and the best resource really is Wales English themselves. They give a really comprehensive list of what they are looking for. But I'm just going to go through my personal experience with them and my tips to you. The interview is 30 minutes long. You have 10 minutes at first for just a question and answer. Very quick information about that because to be honest, I think most of you would be able to get past that stage. It's basic questions. Why do you want to work for Wales? What do you find appealing about Wales? Tell me a bit more about your experience. So make sure you have some answers prepared for that. So you have that question and answer section, and then after that you have your 10-minute demo class. So they will give you the slides beforehand that you can look over and you can prepare for. And just remember, it's 10 minutes for 4 slides. So it's usually 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. That's how it usually is broken down. Okay, now the interviewer will be the one pretending to be a student. So it won't be with an actual 6-year-old, it will be with an adult pretending to be 6 years old. It can be a bit awkward. We have all been there. If you have never done online teaching before and this is your first time, it gets easier, trust me. It is a bit strange at first, but yeah, just put on your teacher hat and you will be fine. So, let's jump into the top 10 tips. Number 1 is lighting, background, and general presentation. So, you want your background to be pretty clear, white, plain, but you also want it to be kid-friendly. So if you have any welcome to my classroom or this alphabet chart, for example, I got this off of Amazon, then feel free to use that. It brightens things up. It doesn't have to be completely plain, but make sure you don't have any messy background or anything like that. Okay, next thing is lighting. So I'm very lucky. It's a bit of a cloudy day, so it's not as bright as it usually would be, and it's getting late now, but I have 5 windows in front of me that just give me natural light. Make sure they can see your face well, make sure there are no dark shadows on your face, make sure the room is not dimly lit. There are so many ways you can do this. Of course, just having your lights on if it's late where you are. You can also use a ring light, which I would highly recommend because I also am using a ring light right now. They're just very convenient. You can adjust them, you can adjust the brightness. Very, very good to use. General presentation. So make sure you just look clean and tidy. Make sure that you have your not a suit per se, but make sure you have something that's long sleeved, nothing that's strapless or that you can see tattoos, piercings, those kinds of things. Think general primary school rules in terms of what you can wear and what you should not maybe wear. So make sure everything is appropriate and you look professional. They want to make sure that you look professional. Tip number 2 is preparation. So I suppose this should be a given, but make sure you do look through the slides they give you, because some people go into interview and they just try and wing it and they wonder why they didn't get the job. It's because you didn't prepare. You need to know what the slides have on them. You need to know how you want to work around and navigate that, and what kind of issues could come up in this kind of a lesson, what errors can be made, how can I do my best to make sure I am as prepared as possible. They want to see a bold, confident and friendly teacher on the other side of the camera. So if you're not that and you are stumbling around looking to see how to transition to the next slide or anything like that, it won't look good for you. So please prepare. On the topic of preparation, I have mentioned this already, but for all of my referrals, I do offer free Zoom sessions in either 15-minute, 30-minute or 45-minute slots. Please feel free to book me for them. So email me so I can check you are a referral, and once I have confirmed that, I will send you my Calendly so we can book a time where we can practice. Practice really makes perfect. I go into this a little bit more later, but practice is really your best friend. Number 3 is energy, and on the topic of energy, it's also about using the camera. So Be as energetic as possible. Remember to smile, remember to use the camera, and remember to use your voice. These are all things that can just enhance a lesson. So here's what not to do. Hello Timmy, how are you? Just try and make your lessons as energetic as possible. Make sure your voice has energy, make sure you have energy. Make sure you use the camera. So yes, you will have a default position where your camera is, but be brave, come up close and go back further and use it to your advantage to make your lessons just that bit more dynamic, because it's so easy for it to become boring for a student. Your voice as well is really important. Don't be monotone, make sure it's full of life and energy, because you need to translate that onto these children, and the interviewer is looking for it. The interviewer isn't, but your actual students are students that come home from a really long day and they've had school and they are tired and they don't want to listen to someone who is essentially trying to make them go to sleep. They want someone who will make them lively and excited and energetic and happy to learn. So be energetic, smile. Number 4, clear instructions. Make sure that your instructions are as clear as humanly possible. Do not use too many long-winded words that you do not need. Rather than saying, please can you do this, just say do this, whether that be circle or read or say. So make sure your instructions are clear and concise. That is what they are looking for. It is much harder for a student to understand when you use too many words than if you just say, please read this. Okay, number 5 is TPR. So most of you should know what TPR is. It is total physical response. If you don't, you probably don't have a TEFL, so make sure you get that first. Even though they do say they accept people who are ready to get one, I would always recommend that you just have your TEFL first. It makes your life way easier. So TPR, make sure you're using your hands and face to express meaning. You use the basic ones like say, listen, counting if you want them to say a number or maybe their age. Those kinds of things will help you so much. Don't let your nerves get the better of you and then you just forget to use TPR. It can happen, and it's horrible when it does happen. So just try in the back of your mind or have a post-it note to say, smile TPR. It will really help you. If you don't know what TPR is, I am going to do an in-depth video on what is TPR and how to use it effectively, so stay tuned. Number 7. So while I was editing this, I kind of realized that I just skipped number 6 entirely. Number 6 should be speak slowly. So I guess it kind of is linked to giving clear instructions, but speaking slowly is really important because in an actual classroom, a 6-year-old won't understand if you speak at the pace I'm speaking at right now, unless they are extremely advanced for their age. So make sure you slow down and speak very slowly, slower than you would in any normal conversation, just so that they understand exactly what you are saying. Number 7, timing and transitions. So I've touched on this already. You have 10 minutes for a 4-slided lesson, and you have to just break this down. There is on the bottom right of the slide a time guide that you should follow as closely as possible. So I said this already, it goes 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Try and stick to that. Have your phone or check your system clock when you start the lesson so that you can just organize your thoughts and try and pace accordingly. Try to practice this, because I think this is where most people would fail, because it's so easy that when you're nervous you just kind of forget that you have a time limit, but if you reach past the 10-minute mark they will stop you, so please do practice. This is also why I have the Zoom sessions available, so please use them. I am more than happy to help, and if there are no times available that you can join to practice, email me, we will figure something out. I've got you, but please do practice. Timing is really, really crucial, and in your own lessons in the future, it's just a necessary skill for you to develop. Number 8 is error correction and specific praise. So with error correction, the interviewer will make a mistake on purpose. So you have to listen out for the mistake and then correct it accordingly. Do not ignore it. Do not ignore it. Do not also say, no, Timmy, that was really bad. Just say, almost, and then correct the error and praise when they do it right. Because they want to see that the teacher is paying attention, that they will actually teach the right grammar and pronunciation of words. Listen out for it, because if you don't correct them, they won't see those skills in you as a teacher to correct and to guide students effectively. Please, please, please correct and listen. And in terms of specific praise, when they do something well, be sure to say, great work on that pronunciation, or you said this really well, depending on the level. So don't just say great job, wonderful, good, all of the usual stuff. Make sure the student knows exactly what they did well. Okay, number 9. Oh, number 9, we are almost there. This is all about extension and comprehension questions. So, in your lesson, it's all about family in 2020 anyway. Of course, this is subject to change as the years go on. So, there's so many opportunities you have to extend. You have the time also to extend, so use it. When there is a student there, your interviewer, and you have a slide about families laughing together, ask them, do you laugh with your family? What do you laugh about? These kinds of things. Or how do you have fun with your family? Get them speaking. What this does, more than anything, is it balances out student talk time with teacher talk time, because you want student talk time to be here and teacher talk time to be here, so that the student is the one, they are not getting lectured, they are just speaking to a teacher and you are guiding them in the right direction. This is really important. The same goes for comprehension questions, which is why I tied them together. Make sure you're asking them questions to test their understanding. Do they know what laugh means, or are they just saying laugh? Make sure they know. It's very easy for a student to repeat, but they may not always be repeating something they fully understand. So be wary of that. And again, it is something they are looking for, so make sure you ask comprehension questions. The last one, coming in at number 10, finally, is the use of props. So, I don't expect you to go to a store and buy everything. I don't expect you to spend much money because you don't have the job yet and you might not get it, so I understand, but there are some things I would advise you to invest in your online ESL teaching journey if you are serious about it. Those are, and number 1, maybe even the only one I would say is mandatory, is a whiteboard. Whiteboards are so useful. You can use it for blending, you can use it for showing meaning. I very often do activities where I draw one of the vocabulary words we have learned and they have to say what one it is. It's so useful for testing understanding, for practicing pronunciation, so many good things. So a whiteboard is a must. I would go so far to say that it's not a must, but I mean, it's very useful to have a puppet. So if you do use puppets in your class, don't be shy. Bring them out for the interview, even though I know it is with an adult. They still want to see that you are able to use props well, so bring them out too. I also have print out things of stars and question marks and microphones, just so that, you know, I can show more things. The microphone is usually used if I want to bring it up and say, your turn. Or the question mark if I'm asking a question, the star if I want to praise. So you don't need a supplementary reward system, but I would encourage it, because when you are doing your mock class, there isn't one inbuilt into Zoom. So I think it's good to show that you know the idea of rewarding students for their good behaviour. So I used a star. Okay, I think that's everything. So I really hope this video helped you, and I really think most people can do very well in these interviews, especially if you meet the basic requirements. So feel free to contact me down below and use me as a referral link, obviously, if you would like to. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will do my absolute best to help you get in. I really think it's a great opportunity. It's really changed my life. One day I will do a video about why that is and why I ever even got into online teaching, I think. But for now, thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, please press the like button, press subscribe, and stay tuned. Write a comment for anything else you would like to see. I will be doing an in-depth walkthrough of the slides as well, just for better understanding. This is just a brief top 10 tips. Keep me updated, good luck, I wish you the best, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!